This episode is brought to you by BioCell RX. BioCell RX is an amazing company that makes some of the best CBD I have ever tried. I've been personally using this product for over 3 months, and it does not disappoint. I don't go anywhere without it. When traveling, it's really hard to get to sleep, especially when I'm swapping time zones and going to different places, sleeping in hotels and not in my own bed. CBD helps me get a good night rest so that I can wake up feeling refreshed, ready to coach, ready to teach, or ready to compete. Whatever it is, I take my CBD with me. My CBD is my partner in crime, my partner in travel. BioCell is one of the products that if it's not in my backpack, I'm not leaving the house. You guys are definitely going to want to head over to biocellrx.com and pick up a bottle of your own. The cool thing about BioCell is they offer CBD at an incredibly highly concentrated formula. With over 6,000 milligrams per bottle, you can get one bottle and hold on to it for a long time. The typical dose for CBD is around 30 milligrams, so you do the math. One bottle will last you a very long time. You don't have to deal with constantly ordering new products and waiting for it to arrive and maybe running out, all of the nonsense. Use code PLAYTHEGAME and get $25 off at checkout. All right, everybody.
Today's episode of PTG is brought to you by the one and only Trans Labs that brought the world two amazing products. First off, Transfuse, which is a hydration multiplier, and most recently, they just dropped Transcend, which is a nootropic energy formula. No matter what you use, when you choose Trans Labs, you are going to be boosted and you are going to be ready to charge the paintball field and win out there. With Transfuse, that is a premium rapid hydration multiplier and immunity fortifying formula scientifically designed to replenish you at the cellular level. And they use all natural ingredients in this product. We've got zinc, we've got vitamin B6, we've got vitamin C, sodium, potassium, choline, and it is an amazing way to make sure that you're hydrated and prepared to play top-level paintball. When it comes to Transcend, that is a premium nootropic energy formula designed to increase cognitive performance, elevate mood and clarity while supporting long-term brain health, and it's going to leave you feeling great with no crash or jitters. It's one of the only products in the nootropic space backed by research studies to ensure the formula is correct for optimal performance. It is more potent than anything on the market, and it will keep you charged and ready to win out there. I take 1 scoop, but if you're stimulant sensitive, take a half scoop. And if you want that LFG dose to launch to the moon, dump 2 scoops in your drink and you are going to be flying down that paintball field. Comes in 2 delicious flavors, Baja Blast and Skittles Candy for the Transcend. And for the Transfuse, they have 2 new flavors as well, Pineapple Express and Hawaiian Punched. So if you get a chance, head over to translabs.com. That's TRANZLABS.com. Use code PLAYTHEGAME and you'll get 10% off. If you subscribe to a monthly delivery service, you also get 10% off as well. So you can take advantage of 20% off on these products. Head over to translabs.com and give it a go. This episode is brought to you by Lone Wolf Paintball. They are an amazing online supplier and have been around since the beginning of the game as Michigan's premier paintball field and paintball supplier since 1987. They are rapidly expanding into the online retail space and supplying everything you need to be the best paintball player you can be. They have got it all. Head over to lonewolfpaintball.com and shop all of your favorite brands. And they also boast amazing customer service and will have this out to you with same-day shipping, which is amazing. It's always nice to know that your stuff is on its way immediately so you can start to use it that very next weekend of play. Check out their YouTube, Lone Wolf Paintball, and their Instagram, @LoneWolfPB, and stay up to date with all of their deals and sales. Play the Game Podcast is immensely honored to have them on board, and we cannot wait for you guys to check out lonewolfpaintball.com and become a part of their community.
Hello, PTG Nation. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. We're really excited for this episode. It's a nice, quick Monday morning banger for you guys. We have Mikko Huttunen of Hormesis Paintball. They are working on so many really incredible projects for the paintball community. Truly outstanding. If you guys would please just like, comment, share, subscribe, all the cool stuff to this video, we'd really appreciate it. And without further ado, we're going to hop in the show.
That was an insane inside move by Marcelo Margot. Great communication.
And the crowd starts chanting Harmon.
Great shot by all the guys. So Tyler Harmon saved that game.
Came out with 2 wins. Marcelo Margot was on fire.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back with another episode. We have Mikko Huttunen back on the show to drop a lot of awesome stuff that's going on with him and Hormesis and all the really cool projects that he's working on. Mikko, what's happening, brother?
What's going on?
Let's go,
Not
Mikko.
much. Not much. Just another beautiful morning here in Montana.
Yeah, living in
Yeah.
Montana now. I don't think you were out there last time we had you on the show.
Oh, and I think I just moved here.
Just moved there.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think I remember being here and being like, because I didn't have like internet here. It's basically still like, this guy comes to your house and puts this satellite box and it's like points it out the sky, and then it's like it's like slower than like a dial-in modem. So now I got the Starlinks over money now because I couldn't hear you guys last time. I remember that. I was like, what are you saying?
Yeah.
So,
Oh, you're dialed in
but-
proper. You got the Starlink.
Starlink, baby.
Now I'm booming. It's going great.
Yeah. Explain what like there's people out there who don't know what Starlink is. Tell them what that is.
It's this dish. It's basically Elon Musk's company that makes this dish that takes a straight internet connection to satellite, so you have internet anywhere. And in this like more rural areas, like myself live right now, so it's like pretty much the only way to get an internet. So like a fast internet, which makes life much easier.
Dang.
But that's it. Now I'm good.
Yeah, Big Daddy Elon coming through clutch with the Starlink.
Exactly.
Let's go.
Yeah, fantastic. You couldn't hear us. It's kind of like the technical difficulties we had before this show. We were supposed to start like 10 minutes ago and get everything launched. We got our early Monday morning show here, and my audio wasn't working,
Yeah, you didn't get your morning coffee, that's the problem.
Yeah, I'm working on it right now. That is the problem. The coffee wasn't finished yet.
I'm actually sampling this new coffee. This is straight from Brazil, from my boy Shalo.
Shallow,
Yeah.
nice. Oh,
Yeah,
of course.
so
Yeah.
Almeida. I'm actually working on making some Hormesis coffee here. So
Oh,
I got all these
stop
different
it.
samples I'm sampling. Yeah, this is
Oh,
gonna be good.
stop it, dude. Send some over.
I will as soon as we
Yeah.
get some going here. It's in a Brazilian schedule, so it takes a little bit,
Yeah.
Latin time.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's gonna take a little extra tiempo.
That's some good
Oh,
stuff
yeah.
though. You got the good stuff
yeah.
there.
It's really good stuff.
Mhm.
So, anyways, it's been interesting spring here. We're as you guys know, we're working on actual paintball movie, which is gonna be something that we haven't done in a paintball industry in a while. So
Mhm.
and then a lot other things happening here, and Hormesis is like growing, and we have a tons of different things going on. Oliver is working on his new 101 format, and it's gonna be something very special that is coming up. And we're working on the movie. Dan is still working on the Iron Kids movie. Bunch of new product coming out. So yeah, just like trying to juggle through all these different tasks and make it happen.
You're a
Actually
busy
getting ready
man.
yeah, actually getting ready to come to your practice, Marcelo, this weekend.
Oh, fantastic. Awesome. Yeah, when do
Yeah.
you get in?
I think on Wednesday.
Wednesday. Holy moly. Okay.
Yeah. We're
What are you
film
gonna do?
some stuff
Okay.
We're gonna film some stuff at Ryan, and then hopefully I get a go like round of golf or something.
Nice.
Hey,
Awesome, dude. Cool.
So that would
golf,
be- that would be
Marcelo,
nice.
golf.
Hey, I haven't been golfing.
What
Just,
happened?
well, paintball happened. We're back in full swing. So being gone every single weekend, Friday to Monday, I have limited time at home to kind of train and get ready for these tournaments that we're playing in. So yeah, just golf has had to take a back seat. We're busy with PTG. We're busy back, on the road literally every weekend. So haven't been able to golf as much. I do still have my putting green over here, which is nice. I do putt. So my short game, I'm sure, is still pretty nice. But yeah,
That's
haven't
good.
been out.
That's
I've been
good.
meaning. I want to get to the range and at least hit some balls. Maybe this week. Maybe.
I haven't played at all in like 6 months, so I'm excited to go play. Actually, they just opened the golf courses here. But by the way, you played amazing last event.
Thanks, Mikko.
Probably
Appreciate that,
one of
brother.
the best playing ball I've ever seen you play, and I've seen you play a long time. So,
Wow.
that was cool to
Appreciate
watch.
that. Yeah. Yeah. The team's in a good spot right now. I think going into this season, it was kind of like bonus territory as well. Everyone just feels really good. The chemistry is there. We haven't had to change, many players. That obviously helps. And the new guys stepped up, which was really exciting. Chris Shear played phenomenal on the Doritos side. So it makes my job a whole lot easier when he plays well over there.
Yeah, it's cool to see like I don't know. I known Chris for a long time too, and last couple years I've been watching. I'm like, man, that kid plays so good now. Like he's playing
Yeah.
so good. And then like now when he has a chance to like play with the really good players, like just a strong team overall and a better, maybe a little bit stronger organization, like you can just see like these new guys coming, like start like firing up and coming in the next
Totally.
level. Like, you know, like you really see the potential, and also like the fact that you don't have to like just worry about staying alive and like doing your job. You can actually like, hey, maybe the guy next to me is going to carry, like if I do something, like guy next to me is going to like, you know, make it happen. So
Totally.
that was, I think you guys actually like, I think that might be, again, that might be one of the strongest dynasty teams ever played, you know? So we'll see. Hopefully you guys do good in the next event. But
Yeah,
anyways,
sure.
yeah. So and then after this weekend, I'm coming straight to see you, Tyler.
Yes, sir. Out in Texas.
Yeah,
Nice.
exactly. We're gonna be filming at your practice, and then staying in Texas and getting ready the booth for the Texas NXL. So
Yes, sir. Right around the corner.
Yeah, busy next 3 weeks.
Oh yeah, yeah. And Wasteland Paintball Park, that's where you're going to be heading out to. It's really nice. And you were describing how you need some like open space to get some really cool angles. And this field has like this whole open space right behind the field, so you're going to be able to capture a lot of really good shots from there.
Yeah. So I think like I want to talk about a little bit this movie, because you know I get a lot of questions about it, and there's a lot of little rumors out there, and I don't think people really know what's happening, and I kind of like that way, but also you know I know people want to hear what's happening. So basically,
well, first of all, what's the name of the robot? What's that robot thing that's running around? What is that?
well, that was something we did together with Go Sports in the last event. So
okay,
Darren hit me up and he's like, hey dude, have you seen this thing? So like I'm familiar with these like next level gimbal systems. Basically, that's what it is. So it's like they use this shot over camera G1 gimbal system that can actually hold a legit film camera, like with the big zoom lenses. And you know, like when you see those cinematic moments that it's not a wide angle lens that it's filming you, like which most of the people do, because that's what your budget is, you know, that's what your gear is. But like when you start compressing with the bigger zoom, and then the shot is completely stable, because that's what the gimbal system does. And then it was added to this crazy golf cart, like crazy like a go-kart looking robot thing. So yeah, we basically partner up with the Go Sports. So Go Sports used it on a Saturday, Sunday, and then we shot some specific stuff on Saturday. And you know, like it was very experimental and something we wanted to try, but there's some stuff we already got. It was pretty cool. Like it's like it gives you like a different view that nobody's ever been able to kind of see before, because like filming paintball is so hard now, because there's, you know, back in the days there was the we can go back into history a little bit and think about like these movies, and what's kind of inspired me to even do this project and getting everybody going is so I feel like for me one of the biggest things that happened was seeing a Bush paintball movie back in the days.
Absolutely.
And that was that it's big reason that I became a professional paintball player and actually like made it happen, from Finland to Russian Legion to Ironman and all these different you know bats. And now like still, you know, 25 years later I'm here, you know, doing paintball. So I feel like there's a strong push on paintball movies with the Benini and Patrick Spohr in the beginning, and then Pat continuing his, you know, serial killers and excessive movie and all that stuff. That it spoke to people, you know, it made people infamous and made people stars, and you know that combined with the paintball magazines and everything else is that was a big part of paintball. You know, the Dirter movies, everything else. Like there's a lot of productions, you know, Bone Break, everything else. And so that as internet started developing and you know social media platforms grew, like it just became there was no financial goal to do these movies, because back in the days you still, you know, but people, they made the movie and they sold DVDs and they made money. Actually, like it was a running business. So you worked all year and you made the movie and you sold the movie, and that's how you paid yourself and you paid your filmers and you paid everybody, made a little bit extra money. So it was actually there's reason to make it.
Mm-hmm.
As that kind of died over the internet, and there was, no benefit of making these movies, we haven't really seen anything. Nothing has really come out. But also, I think it's kind of sad, and I feel like now with the, I don't want to talk shit about the social media real guys and everything else, but the internet is full of paintball clips now, and it's like your attention span is basically always like 5 to 10 seconds, and it's like, you made a great move, Marcelo, in last event. Like, how many different reels that's being covered? That's awesome. That's great. But it's also been missing kind of like the deeper and longer format storytelling, where
Totally.
like traditional movie format comes in. And honestly, like, I've been wanting to make a paintball movie since it was kind of like a late days of my Ironman days when I was kind of fading out. And me and Josh Durbin actually had like really good plan, and we were talking about making a paintball movie, but there's never been anybody who wants to put the money in, because another thing people gotta understand is making a paintball movie, that's extremely expensive. Like, you have a multiple filmers, which is not cheap. You have if you want to do it like in the right way, you have crazy travel expenses, crazy gear expenses. The like that robot we just talked about, that thing is like, I think it's like $250,000 to buy that.
Yeah, it's
so
crazy.
It's like like renting that thing is like 10 G's a weekend.
You guys got that on Toro?
Yeah, exactly. So it's like, hey, show up. But actually that was kind of cool with the robot. Sorry, I'm going in and out here, but it was a shot over camera systems actually posted, like, the kid who was like driving the robot, he made a paintball little clip and video. And like, what's cool about it is the camera systems actually posted it, and probably nobody even saw in the paintball community that thing. But if you think like, who follows this crazy camera system Instagram page, it, like, if you look like all the filmmakers and production companies I follow, which are completely nothing to do with paintball, everybody follows that system. So like,
oh whoa,
it probably got like a 50,000 views of filmmakers eyeballs in a paintball, which is like pretty sick, and nobody even like probably didn't even realize that happened. And I'm like, well, that's kind of like these big guys who make, brain farm guys who make these $5 million snowboarding movies, like, which is kind of in the same area that we are on. Like, they were like, oh, paintball, that's cool. So I know I
love that.
Awesome.
No, that's huge to get those eyes on the sport, because they're in the big game, of making films.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly.
Hey, but, real quick, Mikko, before it slips my mind, because you brought up reels, and it was brought to my attention. Sorry, everybody, and specifically sorry to Quitski. On the last episode, I accidentally said that clip, Tyler, of you shooting meter was Rye Guy. It was Quitski. Shout out to our boy David Quitman. He sent me a message. He's like, bro, really? I'm like, oh, I'm sorry, dude. I'm sorry. I guess someone sent him a message. They were all mad.
The rumor says that Quitski will be out there this weekend.
Yeah, that's what I heard. Yeah,
let's go.
That's what I heard.
Let's go.
Yeah, so like that's a cool thing too. So when we started this, so anyway, so like finally me starting to work with Hormesis, and then like it was one of the very first times me and Alex were hanging out since we kind of like started, and we both started talking about paintball movies. And he's like, dude, I really want to just make like a Warren Miller type of, like that's what like when he was a kid, he used to go in the movies, like in the premieres with his dad, and go watch these ski movies. And like just the feeling and like the idea of going to do that and like be like stoked about the sport you're doing. Like he's like, I really want to do something. And I'm like, well, that's what I've been wanting to do for a long time. And then we start bouncing ideas, and then like 6 months went by. And he's like, let's do this, So in the end, it's like, yeah, I want to do this, but Alex is really the power behind making this happen. And this is not going to be a Hormesis movie. It's going to be a paintball movie. It's not going to be tied to whoever is sponsor. Like we don't want to make this commercial. This is not going to be a commercial for anybody. Like I talked to some of the industry guys, and like, because like the idea we have is like, we're going to make this movie regardless, and it's going to happen, but we would love to get industry to support it so we can make it even bigger and better, and kind of bring the community together in a, hopefully when the movie comes out and it will be done, like do the premieres and kind of do something like we haven't really done in a long time in paintball. So we're hoping the other guys to jump in, help us in some ways, whatever it is. But in the same time, I talked to a couple people and they're like, well, we want to like have like our gear to show on this. I'm like, no, set up. Like, I don't want to talk to you anymore. Like, that's it, done. Like there's not going to be an ad. It's not going to be we're making this for pay. Like, we're making this to be another, like, me personally, I'm making it to be I hope another young Mikko sees it, and be like, dude, this is sick. I want to fucking play paintball,
Yes.
I want to do this. And that's my pure, like, kind of like motivation behind it. Also, I want to do something really cool that has a little bit of longer lifespan than a 3 minutes in the internet, So
Absolutely.
that's it. So, and that's like, I think this is a good time, and there's a good little kind of like, the internet has been around long enough that people are looking for this alternative thing. And I see this happening in surf. I see this happening in snowboarding. I see it happening in other sports, that these longer term storytelling formats are coming back. And also, like, this movie is not going to be, this is not made for people who don't play paintball. It's not going to be. I'm not going to explain like, oh, this is so cool, this is what we do, blah blah blah. No, this is straight for people who play paintball. If you play paintball, I hope you're going to be stoked when you see this, and it's going to tell some stories of some people. It's going to tell stories of, on some broader ideas, but it's really going to like live off with the music and like action and cool shots and cool stuff. It's not a documentary. Like, people ask, like, is it documentary? I'm like, no, it's not a documentary. It's a movie. It's a piece of art. We're gonna make it up. So
that's the best way. Yeah, it's like a piece of art, and it's gonna be so refreshing for people, because, like you said, all they're getting right now is this short tail content, pretty much, and it's great. It's phenomenal. But to have a refreshing piece of work, a piece of art like this come into the scene is going to be really cool. And it's like, with Warren Miller, you go see a Warren Miller film. If you're a skateboarder or a snowboarder or whatever facet, a kayaker, and you go see a Warren Miller snowboarding film, it's not just for the snowboarders. It's like, it's going to get you inspired to go do whatever it is that you do. It's going to have such an appeal that you're going to be inspired by the shots, by the athleticism, the passion, to go and bring that passion into whatever it is that you do, no matter what it is.
Exactly. Having good time and passion is the right words. Like, that's exactly. And then the funny thing is, when we start talking about this, then it's kind of like, I'm a firm believer that, like, I could not do this by myself, like, even I have high things I think highly about myself many times, but I also know that they're like, it will be better if other people are involved. So we went pretty heavy on like, just hitting up people and see what they're up. And like my mentor, like Pat, for example, Pat is back. Like, he's going to be working on this movie. Like, he has been gone to paintball for a long time, and now he's going to be filming there this weekend.
Wow.
We went crazy with our cameras, so we're shooting everything with the red digital cinema cameras and like top level cameras. So like, the stuff is going to look sick. It's and also, like, we're filming the events, but we're going to film a lot of practices, because we get to do a bunch of other stuff in the practices that we don't get to do in the paintball field. There's so many like, it's crazy now. Like, pro finals, like, there's so many people filming on the sidelines. There's, Go Sports, that all the individual, independent guys, everybody and everybody's cousin is there filming. And then, like, something cool happens that's out there, like, pretty, extensively right away. So I want to concentrate a lot of the practices and kind of get that, because stuff that happens in practice, that's nobody even knows what happened there, and a lot of exciting stuff happens in the practice.
Totally. And in Push, we saw that too. They had those great clips.
I was just gonna say that, like one of my favorite scenes is the SC Village practice, where Lasoya loses his soul. It's great. So so that's exciting. So now, like, we kind of have like this all-star team working in with the movie. It's like, we have some of the new generation guys like Ryan Moffat, Nikki from San Diego, and then some other guys. And then we have Dan Napoli is like, he's actually like in a position of being like helping with some of the post-production stuff, and he's going to be a music supervisor. So me and Alex have put together this like ridiculous list of songs we want to use in a movie, and then like give it to him. It's like, hey dude, make this happen. Like, we want these songs, which is really hard, And then Patrick Sporer is involved. Quitsky is coming out of paintball retirement, and he's been a couple days. Quidman has been filming with us, and so that's exciting. Just work with very talented people and very talented individuals, and then like it was kind of like out there. It's like Alex is being so into it too, so he's running around there with the camera and getting.
We can't even get Alex to practice properly anymore.
Yeah, he's like, yeah, exactly. He's like, he's more interested about filming stuff now. So,
he like plays a point, puts his gun down, picks up the camera, goes and films the next line, and we're like, Alex, come on! We're talking about the next game, but he's into it right now, man. And you know what? It's so important for paintball that actually the team doesn't even really care too much. We're like, dude, we get it. Like, this is gonna be. It's a project I'm incredibly excited for. The sport's needed it for so long, man.
Yeah. So, and that's cool because like stuff he's getting is like it comes from the top of the food chain eyes, like directly, so it's different and it's really good. So and Alex is a super creative guy, so it's like that's it's inspiring for everybody,
Oh, he's one of the most creative.
Yeah, exactly. So anyways, that's a big thing for me. Obviously it's making me busy. And then where's the brand go? Like overall with the Hormesis, like right now it's so cool and so exciting what's happening with I just had a conversation with one of my friends about actually it was Isaac a little while ago, and I was talking about like what happens in paintball right now. There's like this new wave of companies that are working in a paintball, and like in any sport, there's always people who come in a sport and they make gear, and that. But the idea why they're making it is to literally like, and I don't say it's wrong, is to make money. But if that money doesn't trickle back to the sport, like let's say that you make the best paintball gun and paintball equipment ever, but that's like just going to increase your bank account and making you rich, and that like the money doesn't come back and support the sport and doesn't trickle back to the players or leagues or like formats or anything else, is like that's bad. And I hope, like I really think people are starting to recognize that as consumers and customers, that there's also these guys like Alex and Oliver, and all they want to do is like they want to grow paintball. They want to make they love the sport. It's been like all of us, it's been our life since we were little kids, like, and it's like we're coming in this like now, I'm 40, which like I don't even know what happened when I was since 20 to 40, it's like it's like this. But in the end, like we're in the age now that I remember all those old guys were when I was 20, and they were running the companies and stuff, and some of that stuff didn't go so well, and some of that stuff did really well, and some of the guys became multi-millionaires, but I feel like I haven't seen, and actually I'm a little wrong here, like that in those like early 2000s days, there was a huge push of making a paintball bigger. It was making the paintball grow, and a lot of that money came from inside from the industry. It came from the people who made the gear, and they wanted to grow the sport and be out there. And then like obviously like everything goes like this, so whatever it was in economic state in 2009, what made it drop down a little bit. Some other people came in, some other leagues happened and everything else. But like just from our part, like it's so sick that like what these guys are trying to do, they're really trying to like grow the sport. And that's where, everything like there's just like these ideas and like, I talked to Alex and it's like, dude, we're like doing a lot of marketing shit right now. I'm like, yeah. He's like, I like it. It's cool. Let's keep doing it. Let's just keep doing, getting cool projects done and, pushing what we can do. And right now, like I said, Oliver is coming up with this one-on-one tour. You guys got to talk to him about it. I don't want to go, it's all completely Oliver's vision. It's like, it's going to be something really, really cool,
It's a great concept. It's a great concept.
Well, like, you played it, right?
I got to go out and watch. Yeah, I didn't play, but I got to watch. He had two pros there that played on each team, and I like the two different ideas. One I feel like is community based. So you play like with these massive teams. I'm not sure if this is still his like polished idea, but you could play basically 15 on 15, and you have a coach that like chooses when to put your player in. If you win, you stay on essentially. And so each team will have like their one general, that is their highest ranking player. And, if the other team's highest ranking players out there, maybe you want to put one of your like Division 3 or 4 guys, because if they do shoot the pro, then it's a massive advantage, right? But if they don't, then you got to like manage, how many players are you going to let them go through and how many points are you going to let that pro kind of rack up before you say, okay, we're going to put our pro in to try to take the pro down, So it's a more community-based one. But then the one that I think is going to be really cool is the professional, one-on-one version, because it's so sporty, super small field. We've talked about it on the show, so I don't think I'm revealing anything that I can't. Oliver's kind of given the green light, but it's a super small format, and there's no bunker between you and your opponent. So you're start station to start station, and the field will never change. Like there's 4 rows of bunkers, and the bunkers will change, but the position of where the actual bunker is located does not change. And no big bunkers. So it's all like small Aztecs, small Doritos, small cakes. So your start station to start station, probably like less than half the length of so less than the 50-yard line on a normal field. So you can pull up and just shoot each other. You could basically ace each other if you guess right almost every time, which makes it interesting because you have to guess right and try to go, cross into the other side, into like the first bunker, right off the tape. So you're like reading body language off the gate. And as soon as the horn blows, you pull up and you could shoot your opponent right there. So like choosing what side to go to is a big part of it. The mental game before the point starts is a big part of it. And then as soon as the game starts, I honestly thought there wasn't going to be that much action because it's so close, but people were making great moves, running down, bunkering one another. It's interesting, dude. It's definitely a spicy new kind of design. So I like it. I think it could be really cool, fun to film, easy to film, right? Like everything, all the action's right there.
Yeah.
You guys should definitely get Oliver on and talk about it soon here, because I think he has now the master ideas.
The master idea. Yeah, I'm sure it's evolved since then. Yeah, this was months ago.
Exactly. So, but it's cool. Like that. This whole thing is like going to be a tour that Oliver and Kevin and those guys, they're going to go into different fields across the U.S. and like stop, and like that's a pretty cool opportunity for like players and local serious players to go try something. So, anyways, that's it. And then
Mikko, is that going to be a tournament, or is it just like somewhere that they can go and scout talent? What is that?
I'm not gonna go into it. Like I said, you guys gotta talk to Oliver, because like I don't want to give you like false information, because his master idea is in his head.
Of course. So, and the only reason that I asked is because I've talked about this on the show tirelessly, that if you had like a one-on-one format and you provide some life-changing opportunities, there's opportunity for some really big developments there. So I'm just very curious to see how that rolls out and what he's going to do with it.
Yeah, exactly. I think there's something like that. Like I think that there's going to be a prize money for the winners and the final winner maybe, or something like that. But yeah, I agree. Like that's but that's like something like we actually talked with Marcelo last time I was hanging out with you. We were roommates for the longest time, like in 20 years, So like
I know, it's great.
It's paintball is so difficult because like I don't want to offend anybody here, but like what just for people who don't know. So there's some wealthy people, like I said, there's money that comes from the industry to the paintball, and then there's guys who really just want to have a good paintball team, but that money is not tied to in the industry. And those team owners are in a fortunate situation that they can actually get the best players always in their teams and pay for those players. Very. What I hear nowadays, pretty good money, just to play paintball for me. Like people should be getting it, But the problem with that is that paintball industry as a whole is still pretty small. Like you compare to it like a real like massive industries, like surfing, for example. With actually the surfing is a perfect league to like kind of think about this. So WSL is the World Surf League. They pay all the pros a base salary and also performance based salaries on a tour. So like now, like think like surf. I don't know. Like I might be throwing this completely out of my head, but like in the biggest of the biggest in paintball as a whole, like this means all the rec ball fields and everything, little fields and paintball markets and all this stuff that doesn't really actually tie into the pro league or pro paintball. It was in the biggest that it is was I think it was valued $1 billion. Now my guess it's probably half. Like if it's even half of that, we're That's my guess. Where we at now? What's the tournament? The companies that are actually making the money selling the tournament players and tied into the NXL or any house, like what is that money? I don't know, a couple $100 million, max. So surfing alone, like Vans or like VF company is worth of $7 billion, right? So some of the big companies are like literally like tens of billions. Like the whole industry might be like $10 billion, and now there's only 33 guys on the tour in the WSL. So obviously, like the money that like these companies trickle into the league, that league is actually enforcing the contracts and paying the guys. Is you're talking 33 guys. How many guys is in the NXL right now? Like pro, how many teams?
200-ish. Yeah.
Yeah, 200 players. So now if you start making a math, what's the basic math for like companies to like if you're like a corporate run company and you are trying to suggest that your marketing budget is going to be more than 10% of the revenue, like they're going to the CEOs are going to laugh at you, which is not, that's why it's so cool, because necessary. That's not the case with us. Like we're crazy. We're just like, we want to make cool stuff. So like a lot of money goes out. So, but that's like, if there's, the board of directors and people who are like in the line of making money from you, that's like Red Bull, for example. I believe their marketing budget is something like 10%. Well, what is that from their, $20 billion, $10 billion revenue, it's like, that's still an excessive amount of money. So if let's say that the tournament correlate paintball whole around the world is $200 million and you take 10% of that, what's that money? It's not that much money. So now if you start thinking like that money is a total marketing budget for everybody. Yeah, but everybody, like it's including the leagues, paying everybody else here. And then let's say that there's a $2-3 million for 200 players. Let's do a quick maths here. So where's my calculators? I'm terrible in math, so I gotta always use the calculator.
What are we trying to do?
I'm trying to throw you a number here. So if it's $3 million would be directly for the players by the league paying, that means that people would get paid $15,000. That would be your base salary, So like there could be something like that, but the one-on-one format gives completely different thing. Like let's say you have like one-on-one thing happening and there's like 30 guys playing, 20 guys playing for like bigger price pursuit and bigger price amount of money. That would be much easier to like the regular paintball needs to happen still and needs to be going on, but there could be an additional thing that like somebody can actually go and be like, hey, I just want to be the best gunfighter in the world and I'm actually getting paid for it, so it's easier and there is more possibility because it's just less people involved, and that's the problem with the paintball is like, and then having a guys, the big team owners that are, the money is not our industry money, that money is, they're just paying guys like very high salaries, which is awesome. And people should be getting that, but that's not necessarily what the industry can support for players. So there's like a happy medium. And I don't know if that's a good or bad for the sport. I don't know, is it good that like, so when somebody decides, I don't want to have a paintball team, which happens so many times anymore, that person just leaves. And then these players are like, who's the next guy? Who's the next whale giving us money? So like, so that's what I'm trying. What I'm trying to say here is like I would be cool that there is something like the industry would actually support, and there would be like some kind of like medium salary or compensation for the guys, and maybe that comes through the league. I don't know. These are my personal ideas and personal thoughts,
So we actually have a great question from the Discord that relates to this. Young Stevie wants to know, he says, Mikko, does Hormesis Productions have any plans to create a revenue model for athletes or teams depicted on your projects and features?
Well, we're basically looking right now to lose a shit ton of money making this movie. So, but so we're just trying to help the sport, like this is not to make money at all right now.
Is the movie going to be free when it's released, or is it going to be behind a paywall?
I don't know yet. I don't know, maybe possibly for a little while. But I would like to do, like, hopefully everything goes well. I definitely want to do premieres and show the movie in right places. What that is and where it's gonna be, it's gonna I don't know yet. It's so far ahead. Like hopefully this movie will be ready next year, springtime, somewhere, you know. So well, I'm sure there's gonna be a good plan for it, and there might be some like updates later on, like how people can get involved and, you know, maybe purchase the movie in a beforehand. You know, I don't know yet. Like we're still working on all this stuff, but yeah, like the idea of to making these movies, there is no like we're not making money. We just want to do something cool for the paintball. Now, if we can cover our cost, that would be great in some point, you know, with the maybe industry's help and you know, some of it is directly from us. But that's not the main point. Alex, like literally Alex said, just like, we're going to make this movie, whatever, you know, it's like, doesn't make any sense on a paper. But I like, if this is specific work, is like, if we're not doing it, who's going to do it? You know? And that's unfortunately when there's, you know, structured companies and people are looking where the money is going, like, hey, let's spend, you know, hundreds and thousands of dollars on this paintball movie. It doesn't really make sense, you know?
Well, it's not a good short-term business decision, that's for sure.
No.
But I make the argument that stuff like this is great long-term business decisions, especially if
I
it's
agree.
You know, like talk about brand power. You know, it's epic, and you know, look at HK Army. It's kind of how they came onto the scene and disrupted everything, right?
Yeah,
doing a lot of really cool stuff for the community, building a great community.
100%.
And it's like, you know, companies I think are way too short-sighted on, you know, I'm not going to get a return on this dollar next week, so it doesn't make sense. Or at the end of the month, the financials aren't going to add up. But if you're doing really cool stuff, and you guys are proof of this right now, people just want to be part of it. People appreciate that. You know, people don't feel like they're just getting nickel and dimed. You know, they feel like
and that's the whole point. And that's the whole point. It's like, like you want to, like, as a consumer, you want to like, and there's companies in paintball, but you want to support those guys that are making things happen and supporting their community and, you know, like growing the sport in the ways everybody can, you know. And some of the big companies are doing it too. Like, I'm not saying that. It's just like, but I also know a bunch of companies who are not. Like the money goes directly to you know, your vacation fund, you know, because just because you have a good product. But you know, it's like in every business and every industry, it's a mix of people and companies and ideas. But yeah, going to the one-on-one thing, I kind of drifted away from that. Like I think that it, like what Tyler, when you said, it's that would be amazing. That, like, how cool that would be. Like, you could actually pursue to be the best gunfighter in the world and getting paid racks, you know, like that would be sick. And then you still play the team paintball.
Of course.
But like, and it's a little bit more what I was trying to do with this, like bringing the larger scale of financial thinking in here, is like, it's a little bit more doable, and because just the amount of people is so much smaller, you know. And that's the big hurdle in paintball. Like, it's like how people, like dude, like the top team guys are making money, and these lower pro teams are paying their own expenses, flights, hotels, even paint, you know. And then you have the medium level teams now, like if you have big company like guys like, I'm glad to see Iron Man doing something this year and making, you know, things happen, but it's like mind blowing. Like, I'm like, yeah, you guys have a good business. Like you should have a good team. Like that's your marketing tool. Like what are you doing? You know, like obviously.
Can we talk about that really, Mikko? Can we talk about that really quick? You've been in this position many times, been really high up at lots of different big companies, and what you just said is the pro team is your best marketing tool. There's a lot of conversation that there's no reason to pay the pro players. There's no reason. 100% what?
That's the every time I hear that from the people, it's like, we would have the business regardless, even there wouldn't be one pro team out there, you know?
Yeah.
And that's makes sense. If you own fields and you do birthday parties and like you do a low-end rental guns for those guys, yeah, that's true. But if you were in this high-end paintball business and stuff, like well, look what Dynasty is doing, you know, like for a lot of people, like you hear arguments from like seasoned veterans and they say like, oh, like it doesn't matter at all who we paying, what we doing, but it does, You know, people still have role
think it
models.
Yeah.
And I think it's like people forgetting like I picked up a lot of new hobbies since, you know, I kind of like paintball wasn't a prime thing, but like every time you get a new hobby, you getting interested, you're getting into it. And if even you want it or not, you eventually, at least myself, I will drift away in looking, you know, is it an Instagram or something like, what are these guys who are really good at this? What do they do? And suddenly I know like a lot about the whole sport, you know, is it bow hunting or is it snowboarding? Is it whatever it is like, and like, it does make difference, you know, like when you making your next purchase decision, like, am I going to buy this gear or that gear? Like, well, you know, nobody really uses this stuff, but you know, it's probably good if the top pros are winning with it, you know? So I believe it.
I bought a $400 putter that I definitely don't need because Dustin Johnson used it. You know, this was years back.
Yeah.
You know,
like golf is a perfect example. Like selling a high-end gear, like doesn't really make you that much better player. I've seen some good players play golf with like hitting like the 30-year-old clubs and they're like, you know, just like smoking everything, you know? And I'm like, dude, like, I don't know. I think I need a new driver. Like, I think the fact that I sucked last time, I need a new driver for sure.
It was definitely the driver.
I need $800 new driver. Like, I need to go buy it right now. But that works, you know. It's marketing, you know. That's the human guy. Like, it's the same thing. Like, you see a guy ripping this like biggest backcountry line in Alaska with this gear and this stuff. Like, can you go snowboarding with like your 20-year-old gear? Yeah, you probably can and have exactly as good as fun time. But like, is it nice to have like a nice Cortex jacket and pants and like new board and new bindings? That it's like, yeah, it's exciting. It's part of the process, you know. Is it nice to have a new gun in paintball? Yeah, it's sick. Like, I'm excited when I get a new gun and I go shoot the new gun. It's like, it's great. You know, it's nice to get a new pair of goggles with the new graphic on it. Yeah,
for sure. Yeah.
Like we're investing our time and money in a hobby that the hobby, you really don't need to play paintball, but that's something that makes us happy and makes us want to like improves our lives and makes, us being ambitious and not just being slobs on our couch and watch TV. Like, hey, buy new gear, get excited, go play paintball. So that's important. And then like you look into guys like you two and you get inspired. And I'm like, yo, dude, that guy, like, I need that, So, and do you really need it? Probably not. But it's like, it's part of the process.
But it's going to make you play better.
100%.
Because it's a mental thing,
For sure. For sure.
So, and that's like anybody on like, even your level, like the pro team, the top guys right now, like, and this was back in the days too. Like there's like straight differences between the teams and play levels, but the top guys, any of the teams can win any day. I feel like it, like if you have if your mind is in the right place and you believe in it and you got like the biggest drive and you like everything is lining up, like any of the teams can win. Like I think like at least the top 6 teams in Excel, any of the teams can win any day, So and like you say that even in the top level, like something that gets your mind right and like you believing that you're gonna be the best and you're gonna win, that makes difference. And that's like one of those, back in like my professional career, it was the biggest thing was to have the right personnel and right people on a team that got you in that mood, and it was the right company to sponsor you and like you didn't want to let these other people down and you just wanted to win,
Absolutely.
And that makes a big difference. And now thinking like Division 2, Division 3, Division 1, whatever the lower divisions you play, I think it makes even more like how much you want it and like how stoked are you and like are you just hating to be there or are you just loving to be there, So I don't know, like that's just my thought process. But yeah, answer to your questions. Me personally, I think it matters a lot. The pro teams they use and sponsor them. But like I said, one thing maybe the people don't always think about that paintball is so much bigger. Like and some of these comments come from guys who do a lot of business for like fields, like
sure.
Doesn't matter, like the birthday guys and like the guys who get the free ticket to like, hey, come play paintball, and then they come play paintball and they buy a couple of cases of paint, and then they maybe come in like next year and they play paintball and they have a great time. That has nothing to do in professional paintball, in my opinion.
Yeah, that's a whole
Yeah.
That's a whole nother conversation too, though. If I were one of these big companies and I had a field that carried all of my stuff, I would have video or posters, signed posters of our professional teams that those fields could showcase to the new players when they come through the door, so that the new players that come and enjoy it and have a good time, they see, whoa, that's Tyler. Well, I don't know who that is, but look at this superstar. And they ask, hey, who is that? Oh, that's Tyler Harmon.
Yeah.
He plays for Houston Heat. You know, what do you mean he plays for Houston Heat? Yeah, it's a professional team, you know, and here's a video of a professional paintball. Then these kids, these players that come in for the first time are like, whoa, what? You could also do this, you know, because if that field that caters to the recreational players doesn't also have a tournament side that's kind of active and going on at the same time, they're never even going to get the exposure to it. There's a lot of people that are playing paintball and just having fun, you know, with those birthday parties, you know, once or twice a year, that don't even know that professional paintball is a thing. So if I were these big companies and I wanted to funnel, I think there's a totally untapped market for funneling those players into the professional side just by showcasing it, you know, just by helping the field owners showcase what it is we do.
Well, like, think if you're 13-year-old little Marcelo, 12-year, you already playing, but like, let's say 12-year-old, 13-year-old, and you go to paintball field and you never play paintball, heard of it or nothing, like ever seen it before. And you're probably gonna have a best time of your life regardless. But like, if you get a little spark in your head of like, whoa, those guys are like real pros, and they're really good, and this is what they do. Like, there's
That's
no
what
way
happened to
that
me.
like that, and that's what happens. That happened to me too. Like, I didn't even know what the paintball was when I played first time paintball. It was just these guns that shot, you know, these things that broke on you, you know. that was it. Like, we bought it from a local thrift store, but then you start doing the research, and then like you see the local pros, you know, because there's also, like, back in the days, because the internet wasn't like that powerful, there's the local pros, and then you look up to those guys, then you realize there's better guys and better guys and better guys. But like, if you can get that trigger into the people's head that like, let's go, you know, like, there's a career path to pursue and become somebody, and like, and that's what it's all about. It's like, and that's why back in the days the magazines were such a big thing. And obviously now it's Instagram and, you know, social media, I guess. But that was a big thing, you know. That's like,
Totally.
like back in the days the magazines were so easy. Like, you just got one magazine, and then you end up like reading the same magazine again and again and again, and like, you start getting these thoughts in your head, like, this is dope, I want more, you know. that's how it is. And then you like start looking the gear, and you start looking all these, you know, like, what are these guys doing, what are they using, what's going on here, like, like, how can I get better, like, how can I, you know, what do I have to do? And a small percent of those people, they become the next pros, you know. And that's I'm happy to see that I feel like there's a new wave finally coming of younger guys. Marcelo, Tyler, you have probably a better idea than I do.
Oh yeah,
but I feel like there's a whole new, like, younger, you know, like when Dynasty came in the scene back in the days, like there's like that type of new wave coming of players. And I don't know how big that group is, but it's cool to see because the middle age of the professional league is getting pretty high, you know. It's definitely like up there, you know. And there's nothing wrong with that either, you know. Like I said, I don't know if I said in the show earlier, but I love the fact that I was talking to somebody back into the 10-man game, and I'm like, yeah, but we always wanted to be like the cool guys with the skateboarding and like, you know, the action sports when people are like 18, 19. But maybe this is the cool thing for like 40-year-old men to do, you know, because you know, like, it's and I'm not talking maybe not to be in the top level, but it's pretty like, name how many other sports there is. Like, if you're 35 years old, if you buy the right gear and you start playing every weekend, in a couple of years, you're going to play in the national events. Even a year, you can play in the national tournaments, national events, and like possibly become a pro. Like, tell me another sport that it's possible.
Yeah,
like,
there's
not too many. There's not.
Yeah, and I think that with social media, we're doing a great job of like debuting it. I think there's a lot of fresh eyes on paintball. And then, like Marcelo said, having that captivating moment at the paintball field where you have like the TV or whatever, a banner of players, those kind of things will really start getting players in. But you can be young or middle-aged or old, doesn't matter. That's the beautiful thing about paintball.
Yeah. And like I said, even make this movie, like if you're getting into that little bit of the hype, and then you hopefully we're available somewhere like you can get it from to your house, and then you get the movie and
Yeah.
watch it. This is sick. Like if that's
Mhm.
something that helps the people to be that little spark that gives the people inspiration, that's important, and
Well, that's like
that we should
Push.
try.
Yeah, like Push that and the music. I love that you hit on the music that you're going to be putting into the film because that is really one of the most captivating things about Push in particular. I
Yeah,
would
they crushed
hear
it.
those sounds and I would just like get me super pumped to go play. And then I'm watching these amazing visuals and I'm creating these new ideas of how I'm going to approach the game and what I can do out there. And it's really captivating and inspiring. So I do want to kind of talk to you about that. You guys have a really amazing lineup of tunes that you're trying to get in, which is very, like you alluded to, extremely hard to do.
Yeah, it's hard to do. That's why we got Dan, so he can
Yeah.
go and hit up these people, because licensing music is, first of all, is not cheap. It's extremely expensive. Like it costs, even like a not big song costs thousands and thousands of dollars to use on something, and then just the
Yeah.
fact that you gotta get an actual approval from the band or the artist or producer who made the song
Mhm.
to use it, and then but that's what Dan does. Like he's a professional doing
Yeah.
that. Like he does it for a lot of people outside of paintball and everywhere else. So that's I'm excited him to do it for us, And
Oh,
like
yeah.
I said, me and Alex we have this playlist, and we just keep adding their stuff, and he was like, I don't
Hope
know
for
if
the
we can get
best.
it, but it's a sick song. We should get it, Like, so
Yeah.
hoping the best. But it's like yeah, push was like it. I believe Dan was involved at getting the music, but I think it was a lot of Patrick's like kind of like coming up with these bands and songs and everything else, and they just nailed it, because that was like such an exciting time in the music, because it was kind of like the grunge was kind of over, but it was kind of still the rock music was like kind of moving on, and there's all these big bands that were coming, and they just kind of nailed like AFI and a couple of those bands that became a huge by the time the movie was out. But when they got the
Yeah.
song, they were actually able to get them,
Wow.
So,
Yeah.
so that was that. Like if you haven't seen a movie Push, that you should watch it. I think it's available in YouTube.
It is.
I think Pat like actually uploaded the reso a little bit better, because it's like a VHS stuff,
Mhm.
So it's like, but the YouTube one, I believe it's
What's
pretty good.
VHS?
I don't even know. You remember those videotapes that you had to? So,
Oh,
but
man.
but I specifically remember, like, we were living in Kuopio, which is in the middle of Finland, on this with my bunch of my teammates and friends were living on this big apartment housing, kind of. I don't know, we're like 18 or something.
Shout
And I
out to
remember getting,
Finland. Let's go.
yeah. So we ended up getting this Push. One of my roommates, Oscar, he got this Push videotape, and they're like, let's watch it. And I still remember, like, with everybody I was watching, he's like, oh, this is sick, And I'm just like, what do you want to do next week? And we want to go play paintball,
Mhm.
So, and we were kind of like playing already. We were already playing Millenniums and like the bigger tournaments with the team. So it was already happening, but that was kind of like the extra push. Like, I'm like, dude, I want to be one of those guys. I want to be in, I want to be in a
Yeah.
winning team. I want to play these tournaments. I want to win World Cup, And those are
Mhm.
they're crazy dreams at that point, but and I made it happen, from Finland, So it's like anything is possible if you really want it, but you need those little triggers and ideas in your head that like you want to push harder and like train harder and like do whatever decisions you have to make these things happen. But it's doable. It's possible. You can
Mhm.
make it happen. Anybody can make it happen, if you just believe in it. But if you half-assing it, it's not going to happen, So,
Mhm.
but it's
It's a
important to
funny
have those.
it's a funny play on words, It's the name of the video is Push, and it pushed so many people to chase their dreams. So that's kind of something to think about, maybe with the branding and the name of whatever you
Yeah.
guys cook up, because it really
Well,
did push so many people to capture a lot of crazy moments through that video.
yeah, Brian and Patrick definitely nailed that video, that movie. That was
Oh
something
yeah.
special. But it was also, I believe there's a lot of people involved in, filming and stuff too. But
Mhm.
that's iconic, and it's unfortunate that we haven't, like, since Patrick stopped doing his films, I don't think nothing really, but like Dan made a couple movies, but they're more like documentary style, I believe. And I was kind of disappeared from paintball for a little while in there too, so I don't really know what happened in 2000 after Iron retirement and 2015, 16, you know. So, but I think the internet kind of was overpowering, so it just didn't make sense. And then, like you said earlier, HK was crushing it with their videos and YouTube videos and event videos. That was getting the views, and
Totally.
that was sparking the people and make that company really strong. Like their marketing was strong, you know.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, and they're still crushing it. Shout out HK. It's extremely difficult to capture the perfect moments. It's an art form that you guys are trying to put together, and it's not easy, you know, being in the right spot at the right time with the camera rolling and the perfect things happening. You got to be capturing a lot of moments with those cameras.
oh, there's so much bad stuff. There's so much stuff there that you don't never gonna see. Like it's crazy. And like the data amount, it's ridiculous. Like I think we're already like, I don't know, like 70 terabytes of data from like 2 months, you know. So like unfortunately these film cameras are not like the nicer cinema cameras, and they're big files, but hopefully the result will be nice, you know. It's worth of doing it that way.
Absolutely.
Talk about scrubbing. That's a lot of scrubbing.
I know that's what the cool about. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
I got a off paintball question from the Discord. You did bring up Finland, and this is kind of referencing, you know, how much time you've obviously spent in Finland. What's your take on sauna use in the US? Do you prefer the regular dry sauna, infrared sauna, or the steam?
Oh, the regular one.
Regular dry sauna.
Dry sauna all day. So I'm actually like, I love it. So where I grew up, like we have a lake sauna. So it's like right by the lake. It's like all wood fired up, and then we have another sauna inside the house. So like I would use sauna every day. Right now I don't have a sauna here, like, and I'm looking to get one of those because my gym doesn't have one, and I'm looking to get one of those barrel ones. But the thing is that the infrared one, like I don't like it, because honestly it's like you gotta sit there for like forever. And you kind of like sweating this cold sweat, and you don't. It's not like a pleasant experience. I would say for me, just like I throw water in the dry sauna so I do like the little bit of steam. I throw water in the rocks. You know, that's like the Finnish way to do it. But the steam room, same thing. I don't think it's just like hot enough. You know, it's like doesn't do it for me. Like I want to be cranked up like 200. You know, 220. Like that's where you want to be. So, and then like, but yeah, well, apparently like if you do it, you know, 3 times a week, 20 minutes a day, you know, it's really good for you.
Yeah. 55 minutes a week, I guess, is the threshold to really start reaping all the benefits of, you know, decreasing all-cause mortality rates, you know, heat shock proteins. It just makes you feel good. First of all, like when you leave the sauna, if you take a nice cold shower after a good sauna session, you leave feeling you're high. Your body is running off of endorphins. You know, you feel fantastic. And then the health benefits are undoubtable. That is another thing too. For me, the data isn't there with infrared saunas. They just haven't done enough, you know, studies. They haven't been around long enough to really, you know, see about all-cause mortality rates and all the you know, tremendous benefits that a traditional sauna has.
Yeah, it's I read this study on I think it was not about University of Kuopio and actually where I'm from. But it was like a long, I don't remember, like 30, 40 years of study or something crazy with the big group of people. And like the benefits are like crazy. It's like a 70% less in the cancer and like heart problems and stuff. But it's like obviously, I don't know, it doesn't work for everybody. I believe you should do it. I think it's really good for you. I love it.
At the very least, it makes you feel better. At the very least.
And it's a struggle. Like if you do the 20 minutes in like 200, whatever, like at least for me after 15 minutes, I'm like, okay, like I'm very focused on the moment. I'm focused on the moment because it's like, it's not like, that's like it takes a little bit, you know?
Yeah.
It's hot.
Yeah,
and your heart is going and like, you know, so it's good. Recovery wise, I think it's great too, but
yeah,
I love it. And I've been struggling. Oh yeah, I've been struggling this year because I haven't had a sauna available for me, and I was like, that's the one thing I gotta fix right now. So I've been looking at these options.
Dude, Yarber built his own, so it's there.
I saw that.
Yeah,
I saw that.
Dude, Annie has the cold plunge right there in the lake, the frozen tundra.
Yeah. That's how we did it on like my parents. Like we just got like a hole in the ice and then just put a ladder in the ice and just go straight into the
oh yeah,
which is not actually, which actually it doesn't feel that cold. It's like when it's like -20 outside, like the water is actually warm, you know?
oh yeah, it's super warm for sure.
Yeah.
The hot and the cold is a game changer, you know, kind of shocking your body, and you want to keep your body guessing too when you're doing workouts and stuff. You don't want it to get used to what you do. You want to make it always kind of tricking your body into that growth. And I have a question here from Clint Riddle in regards to the videography that you're doing. Mikko, who are your influences for videography? I get a strong early OTS skate surf video vibe in your work, and I love it.
Yeah, like obviously the like I taken photos and videos since a kid, but then like my photographing, my biggest influence probably was Luis and Dai, and then that kind of led with Pat, working with Pat, and me and Pat actually first worked in we were doing this thing for Flying Finns Go to America. It was like all the Finnish pros. It was a snowboarding series for Transworld back in like 2010. So that was actually first like a bigger project me and Pat worked together outside of paintball, which is, you know, we knew each other from paintball. But yeah, I love like action sports. I'm you know, I really admire like a Curtis Morgan doing The Art of Flight and like all the Brain Farm films, including their surf and skate stuff, because they went big. You know, they brought all these cool toys and everything else and kind of displayed it a little bit different. And then I'm also like, I'm a huge film fan. I love movies. Like I watch movies all the time. I have a strong list of directors and the filmmakers that I looked up to. And then, but it's kind of like I definitely learned from a lot of people, from some of the Finnish guys too, who were working in on snowboarding stuff. Like those guys were all pros, you know, they're like film school, very, very talented guys. And then you just kind of learn from different people. And then it's like important that you have your own little style, you know? So
yeah.
I don't know exactly like how to describe what my style is, but it's definitely there. Like if you watch my stuff, it kind of looks the same, you know?
Who are your top 3 directors for like cinema?
That's a tough one. Obviously, I don't know, like probably Tarantino, Ridley Scott, maybe Michael Mann. I don't know. Like, but there's plenty, but those just 3 top out of my head right now.
Love it.
So
nice. Hell yeah. All right, we got a question from E. Lambs. Mikko, with how successful Hormesis has been, is there pressure from within to continue to live up to the popularity and success? Or is there more a feeling of confidence in what you've done to get to the point and that you'll continue to be successful?
Well, yeah, there's always like, you know, we want to be making new stuff and cool stuff. But the cool thing about Hormesis is like, it's a very open format, which is not there. It's not very like, I'm not used to it. Even like, usually when you go work a company, they have like this is your logo, here is your fonts, you know, and this is the kind of look how you have to go. Like, we don't have any of that in Hormesis. We can go all kind of crazy stuff, you know, and maybe some stuff doesn't work, and maybe some stuff works. So, but that's it's almost like an artist network. Like, we let people to do their own Hormesis stuff, you know, like obviously it's not going to be sold from official Hormesis channels, but people are like, it's more like a culture and group of these amazing people that are passionate about something, and then that makes cool stuff happen, you know. And
totally. And
we're not limited to there is no rules, you know, which is the amazing thing about it. So like, yeah, you're gonna see a lot of weird stuff coming out this year, and some cool stuff, and hopefully people like it.
Can you give us any insight on some upcoming
Nah,
product?
well,
Any clues? Any hints?
Yeah, you'll see it when it comes. You know, it's just like
Damn.
you never know. Like sometimes I get
tried,
stuff
guys.
from boxing from Oliver in Indonesia, and I have no idea what's in there. You know, and then it's like, oh, this is sick.
I tried, guys. I tried.
Yeah. But we'll have a booth in Texas, so that's exciting. So
Will
stop by.
Archie be DJing again? Kid Arch, the DJ.
We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. But there'll be definitely this year. We'll be at the major events, and then World Cup will be something crazy. Hopefully.
Awesome. Hey, last question for me, Ty. I don't know if you had another. I don't know if you were gonna. I might be stealing your question right now.
Let's see. Go
It's
for
for
it.
Nick Sloviak. He wants to know, how can I purchase Hormesis stock options?
I don't know. I'll call Alex.
I'm in, all in.
He's in the chat. Shout out to Nick being in the Discord. Yeah. PTG World's lit, and we appreciate you all. We got
what's up, Nick?
Yeah, Nick. Let's go, baby. I got Alex Harlington. Mikko, I love your band and the quality of the bands that he's handled. Congratulations on joining the Dynasty Inc. and Hormesis brand. What can you shed some light on that goes on behind the scenes that the normal people out there would not be aware of?
I don't know. I think it's pretty open book in here. I don't know. Like, I don't think there's anything. Yeah, I don't know. That's a hard question. So,
the creative process, anything like that?
No answers on that one.
Yeah. Okay.
No comment.
Fair enough.
Hold on, I lost you guys.
Mikko,
a second.
plead the fifth.
Yeah. I plead the fifth.
This might be the end of it.
we can hear you, Mikko.
Unmute.
But
hold on.
Maybe it was his headphones or something. Got to charge those puppies up. He's got the AirPods in. Well, this has been tremendous, Mikko. I'm not sure if you've still got us here, but man, do we appreciate it.
I got you back there. Yeah.
Okay, we got you.
You're back in
there. Heck yeah. We're just saying how much we appreciate you and everything that you're doing in the landscape of paintball. And we can't wait to see the project roll out. We can't wait to see all the creative ideas roll out for you guys. And man, much love. Keep having fun and doing what you're doing, dude.
Yeah, can't wait to see you guys in the next couple of weeks here. So
we'll see sir.
See you in San Diego. See you in Texas.
Perfect.
Yeah, let's go.
See you soon.
Thank you. Thank you,
dude. Thank you.
Anytime.
And then, is there any plugs that you want to throw in there? Any shout outs or anything like that? Now is the time.
We're good.
Follow the Hormesis Productions Instagram page. And obviously Hormesis Paintball if you don't already. But it's at Hormesis Productions with an S at the end. Is that it, right?
Yeah, we're gonna start putting stuff in there, like just a little updates and photos from this journey. You know. Also, we're gonna be working on some other stuff too. In meanwhile, you know. So
amazing, dude. Can't wait. Thank you for everything you're doing, Mikko. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you soon.
Thank you,
sir. Peace.
Later.
All right, everybody. Thank you guys so much for tuning in and rocking with us. We really hope you enjoyed that one. Very insightful from Mikko. As always, Mikko's the man. Does a lot of great work behind the scenes. So much of the cool content that you guys have seen in the industry has come from Mikko. Mikko is just phenomenal. So again, thank you guys for tuning in. Really hope you enjoy this episode. If you did, as always, please like, share, comment, subscribe, do all the stuff that supports us. That'd be amazing. We greatly appreciate it. And of course, as always, we will see you very soon.